Okay, so we're going to go to a weekly, and we are going to attach, I'm assuming it's this guy right here. Okay, let's try this out. This guy right here to this guy right here. Right? Okay, so let's see. Make sure it's pinned, repin this, and then we're going to go to the daily, and it's going to be floating through. Yep, exactly. So I'm keeping the weekly here. You can massage this into being like this, right? But what you're seeing is, okay, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to use both. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do it like this. And we're going to make this one really, really heavy. It should be, this one should be right here. We'll make this blue line right here really heavy. So definitely no confusing that. So then we're going to go to, say, like a 4-hour, right? You'll notice this is very much the same trend. But what's going to happen here is this, right? You are going to be, and we'll go to the weekly, see how the daily looks on the weekly first. Daily is slightly different. So you have this little bit of variance here. What you're going to be seeing is what is a coin that is doing this right now? You know what a coin that is doing this right now? And I believe it is MDA. For the life of me, MDA, just like, for God's sakes, MDA, can you just move already, kind of thing, right? So this is the kind of situation you're going to be seeing. You're going to be seeing something like this, where on the daily, let's go to the daily here. This is kind of floating through a random point, right? You're just floating through a random point. This is trying to confirm on the weekly. So when you have these random float spots like this through your chart, you are trying to confirm on a larger time frame. That's what you're seeing. So if we take a look at MDA here, go to the weekly, everything is pinned up properly. You know, we've got swing to swing right here, swing to swing right here, which is fractal, right? That's going to be a 1 hour wick high or 4 hour wick high, or whatever. Then you have this right here, and it's floating through on lower time frames. You're something like this is going to come to a point where you are testing through, and on the daily, you will be testing this daily before you will the weekly, right? So you may test this daily a few times, and then halfway through the week, you maybe have broken over the daily, but haven't broken over the weekly. So if you come here, right, and the thicker blue line is the one that we had pinned. This is a great question, by the way. This is really will clear up a lot for people. You're going to go to this move here, and on the daily, you may be testing this daily trend, right? You may come like this and like this and like this, but then you get to this point where you've broken over the daily and you haven't moved yet, and you're kind of in between two trends. That's because this weekly trend here, you're trying to confirm the break over the weekly trend, but you have just like what MDA is doing right now on this side. It's over top of a weekly, which is, if you actually go to MDA, you'll see like this has broke the weekly already. Like this is well over the weekly for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. But on a weekly chart, you actually haven't broke yet. Do you see what I mean? Like you haven't confirmed a close yet. So actually MDA has no obligation to move until next week, because we're not even confirming a close yet. But this, you'll see this on one chart, and you'll see this on another chart. Find something that's just, even just, throwing it in the dark, like what's going on with MDA here? Like you can't really see anything that makes any sense. Like, yeah, okay, fine, you have a trend here, but this is super local. Like what is this even showing you? This is not really connected to anything, but it hasn't confirmed on the larger. Rather, you're just now seeing local trends. Like even this right here has a local trend right here to there. And then even that would have this to this, like that. And then, that's just two local trends outside of the global here. But this is very much the same thing as this move here. And then you'd even have just like the same thing, like this to this, and then like this to this, and then it gets over top of this little local trend after. It's because it hasn't confirmed the weekly. Like that's the point here on TNT. It never confirmed the weekly. You're very much doing the same thing on MDA here. Doesn't mean MDA is going to pop up 100%, but it sure does look like a decent entry if you talk about entering a hold level. And your hold level is right there on the daily, but right here on another time frame. But either one of these levels, whatever you pick, the daily or the 4-hour hold, like it's MDA looks really good, but that doesn't mean it's going to pop. But it's even you draw the same inverse here. Right there, pops over that inverse. Well, what's going to happen when this pops over this inverse, and it's trying to confirm the weekly? Yeah. Matic BTC. Okay. Oh yeah, Matic. Oh, Matic. I should have taken this trade. Yeah. It was so obvious it was going to happen too. Yep. Okay. Start right now. Looking at Matic on the hour. First thing I would do, I would say, okay, this is at a swing high, all-time high. You have a swing there that's redefined right here. So that will be the first thing I need to see. This is going to be an accumulation candle, and we have not a lot of history on Matic here. I can't go to the daily and say, okay, where's the daily accumulation candles? In this sense, I would be like this distribute. Oh, come on. I would be on the bottom side, distribution to distribution, until this is created here, like this, distribution to distribution, which you can see there, until I could go now down to a lower time frame, and then I could more accurately pin distribution to distribution like that, which would be there to there, and I could even go to the hourly and say, okay, got distribution here to distribution here, right here, like that, which would give me a pretty accurate. But if you do massage through it and find like distribution candle to distribution candle right here, then you'll see like pretty pinpoint accuracy. What happened there? I went to the wrong candle. There we go. You'll see pretty pinpoint accuracy. I used to have to massage through these charts for like hours to find the right information. And then just after a certain amount of time, it kind of just clicks. You just kind of start seeing it without seeing it, right? And I would have looked at this and I would have said, okay, this got stopped out, inversed off the larger time frame. So I would have went to the 4 and I would have said, yep, there's the 4, which is probably the 2-hour valley right there. So there's a 2-hour valley. Inverse stopped the move. Obviously, it didn't even come close to testing this. So I know the move is failing down. But like I wouldn't even be looking at that. Like I wouldn't even be ascertaining this information on this coin. What I would simply do first is I would just draw trend to trend and I would just take a look and I would have been like, okay, what's going on here? All right, where's our hold level? Hold level's right there. We first tested it, bounced, and we're breaking trend. This is literally the first 2 things I would have done. And had I seen this, I would have been like, okay, this is a great spot to enter. And then I would have even gone like this, and I would have said, okay, what is this able to hold? And I would have went to a 5-minute, because this would have been a decision you would have had to make relatively quick. Like you would have been testing this trend, right? And you would have been like, okay, well, now I go to the 5-minute. Where's the valley? This is the valley right here. Hold, break above, and you've got your move. So very quickly to look at a coin that has no information, I would have done this. And where would I have been selling? I would have just went back to the 4-hour and I would have said, okay, where's our valley? Okay, we have our valley here. Where's the inverse? The inverse is here. I can guarantee that this is going to be a sell. Like if this is my valley that I have to target, this is targeting it to move up. We're already moving down, because you know what? The reality is we hit this here, right? We inversed here. Like we are not on an uptrend right now on Matic. We are trying to break a downtrend. So right here, the inverse was hit. Like if this was an uptrend, we would be on this side of it saying, oh, we hit the valley right here, let's move up, right? You'd be right here. You'd say, oh, we tested the valley, let's move up, as opposed to stopping out right here, which oh, you stopped out there, but you held the hold level to take this move to bring it higher, and then you back targeted the valley here, and then you moved up. And then I'd be looking at the same thing here, and I'd say, okay, the valley is right here, whereas the hold level is going to be somewhere inside of here when you break it down to a smaller time frame. You could even just call it here for the simple ease of this. Like this is where you are targeting valleys back. This is an uptrend. All you can do is catch a falling knife, and you could probably identify the first knife to be caught on a 4-hour chart, or possibly a daily. Or maybe even a 12. I'm not sure how well, definitely not a daily. Let's see what the 4-hour shows us. Yeah, the 4 hours to, sorry, the 12 hours to, you simply have this right here as like a buy target right there. And it gets pretty close. It gets very close. And then if this is your hold level where you're first buying this thing, and you are watching something like this unfold, let's go to the replay tool and bring it just right here. You are watching this unfold, and this is like this. Oops. Say we were in this trade, and rewind 2 days ago or a day ago, or whatever. You're in this trade and you're like, okay, there's a couple different things that can hold here. I have a 4-hour here, and then there's this large gap right here. This is already broken down. Maybe I should just look for entry on this right here. So this right here would be like the first hold level. So this is going to bounce. Like this will bounce. It's an untested hold level. It's on the 1-hour chart. You have a large gap in the move, just like this would have bounced here. Just like the same thing as this would have bounced. And you see it does hit, go down, and tries to come back up, right? And it's the same thing as this would have bounced here on a lower time frame. Comes, bounces off, tries to move up, right? Until it can't, and it creates its downtrend. So then I would be looking at this on the hourly, and I would have massaged through to this on the 4-hour. So you have a 4-hour hold here. You have a 1-hour hold here. Where's the 1 hour color? There we go, 1 hour color. We'll do orange for 1 hour. And I would have simply just set a buy here and been like, okay, well, like this is an untested hold level. Like maybe I'll just set it a little bit higher because the only obligation is that this touches it at 284. So maybe I go like 287 or something to buy. It's a relatively safe buy right there. The hold level's hit, perfect, and it will have a bounce.
Hey everyone, how's it going? As you know, I'm now giving out some of this content for free that I was otherwise charging for the past little while. Yeah, drop a donation, subscribe to the channel, join Patreon. You'll get access to Discord. Great way. Lots of top level traders in there, people who are doing this for a career every single day. So go to Patreon, join a tier, get access to Discord. Go on Reddit, talk about future of trading, talk about the science of trading, talk about cotton candy, socials, everything you can. Let's help this thing grow. It's the way you guys can thank me for giving out this content for free that I was otherwise charging money for. So I'll leave a Bitcoin address on the screen. I'll leave the Patreon address on the screen. Just do something to help out. Okay, thanks guys. Take care.